Welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast. At Healthy Steps Nutrition, we believe something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple, habit-based approach when working with clients. I'm your host, Nicole Aucoin, Registered Dietitian and founder of Healthy Steps Nutrition, CrossFit HSN, and HSN Mentoring. I'm also the author of the Healthy Kids Cookbook, 100% kid-approved recipes the entire family will love. You can find it on Amazon. In this podcast, we will be teaching you how to take one step at a time to becoming the healthiest version of yourself. Today, Ashley and I are discussing how to fight chronic disease. Personally, I'm so passionate about this topic. As a dietitian, our training is mostly with how to treat chronic disease. Someone has uncontrolled diabetes, they're in the hospital, how to teach them to manage it. Someone has kidney disease, how to manage that. Our healthcare system should really be called sick care. We don't focus on disease prevention. We focus on managing once someone already has the disease. When I worked at the hospital, it was a moral dilemma. We were giving people supplements that were loaded with sugar. I would spend 15 minutes trying to teach someone how to completely change their diet. And of course, no surprise, they didn't change anything. Between all the nurses and doctors coming in and out of the rooms, it just wasn't enough support to help them make the change. It was frustrating. And at one point, I was having a heart-to-heart with my husband. He's like, Nicole, you're not happy at the hospital. Leave and pursue Healthy Steps Nutrition full-time so you can empower people to take control of their health through a simple habit-based approach so that you can help people fight chronic disease and actually prevent it and truly make the change. So that's what I did. And in that time frame, over the past 10 years, I've been put together with people at CrossFit Health. And that community of people is all on the same page. We understand that our healthcare system is broken and we're not going to help people become the healthiest versions of themselves through medications and pills. And people really need the support to change their lifestyle. It comes down to nutrition. It comes down to fitness, sleep, support system, stress management. There are so many factors that go into helping you become the healthiest version of yourself. But one thing I can promise you, supplements are not going to get you there. And if you don't commit to yourself to make that lifestyle change, you're not going to get there. Over the past few years at Healthy Steps Nutrition headquarters, we have helped hundreds of people get off blood pressure medications, get off cholesterol medications, manage their diabetes, and so much more. It didn't happen overnight, but all of these people had one thing in common. They changed their mindset. They understood that they needed to change their way of life if they wanted to take control of their health. Let me repeat that again. They understood that they needed to change their way of life if they wanted to take control of their health. It's not easy, I can tell you that, but I'm here to tell you it is worth it. Imagine how you will feel if you lost that 50 pounds, if you lost that 100 pounds, if you started eating better. Most people don't even understand how their body is designed to feel because we're so used to putting crap in it every day. We're so used to sleeping on minimal hours. I love when people tell me, oh yeah, I only need a couple hours of sleep. That's when I function best. I can promise you that is not the case. So I'm so excited to share all of this knowledge about fighting chronic disease because I think there's our healthcare system is so backwards. And if you truly wanted to take control of your health, we have to look at these fundamental pieces. We will get to this episode on fighting chronic disease in 3 steps right after this message. Do you have a chronic disease? Do you have diabetes or high cholesterol or a multitude of things and you're looking to take control of your health? Are you sick and tired of feeling the way you are feeling? If you answered yes to either of those questions, we want to help you. Click the link in the show notes to apply for nutrition coaching with a dietitian at Healthy Steps Nutrition headquarters, or you can go to hireanutritioncoach.com and find a nutrition coach near you. All right, let's get to this episode on fighting chronic disease. Ashley, welcome back to the Nutrition Made Simple podcast.
Hi, Nicole. So good to be back and chatting with you as always.
Today, we are talking about chronic disease. and nutrition. Such an important topic.
I know this is a topic that you are so personally passionate about, and it's very important, but I think it's very important to start talking about why. Why are we talking about chronic disease and nutrition? Why are we talking about this topic that affects so many people worldwide?
I think if COVID did anything, it opened people's eyes that they have to take care of their bodies to prevent chronic disease. And chronic disease, for those of you who are listening, it's defined as conditions that are lasting 1 or more years and require ongoing medical attention or limit the activities of daily living or both. So basically, you have something that you have to constantly get checked out and have someone oversee your care.
Yeah, and it limits your activities of daily living, and that could definitely affect you in so many ways. And some examples of chronic disease for those who are listening include heart disease, diabetes, cancer, these conditions that affect probably somebody that you know personally.
In fact, 60% of people have one chronic disease, 40% have 2 or more. And it's expensive, right? I mean, goodness. 70% of the deaths in the US are related to chronic disease. It's a leading driver of the nation's $3.5 trillion healthcare costs. I mean, goodness, if you have diabetes, it costs you on average $9,600 per year to manage that diabetes. So what if we talked about let's take a few steps back. Let's take control of our health to prevent chronic disease. And if we have it, what can we actually do to help us get in a better place?
Yes, I think thinking about chronic disease and specifically heart disease, diabetes, and cancer, and knowing that those are the leading causes of death and disability in the United States really makes you kind of take a step back and think, wow, what can we do to prevent this? What can we do if we know that we're susceptible to chronic disease? What can we do to actually take a stand and change that direction?
So according to the World Health Organization, the most common drivers that are preventable with chronic disease are 1, unhealthy diet, 2, lack of exercise, and 3, tobacco use. So those are things that we can actually do. But to be honest, it could feel overwhelming for someone who's, gone too far or just feels like they have so many things that they need to get on track. So let's break it down a little bit. Let's start off with what we need to do, 3 steps for helping you fight chronic disease.
I love that because, the best way to fight chronic disease is to prevent that. And Nicole, those 3 things that you said, the most common drivers are the diet, physical activity, and tobacco use. Those are all something that we can control. But yes, it can feel very overwhelming if you don't know where to start.
So let's start with step 1. Step 1 is taking a self-assessment. What are you doing every day to take care of yourself? And this is why at Healthy Steps Nutrition, we really focus on that holistic approach, not just what you eat, but mindset, stress management, exercise, sleep. All of these factors are really important, your lifestyle. So what are you doing to take care of your health? And are you looking at all of those factors? The other thing, Ashley, you and I talk about a lot is preventative care. Like, are you going to the doctor? Are you getting checked out? Do you know your blood work? Most people have no idea what their blood work is annually. And if they do have it, they have no idea what it means.
Yes, absolutely. Utilizing that preventative care, utilizing your wellness checkup, your healthcare team, actually utilizing it to make sure that you're on top of your health is really comes down to taking care of your body and making sure you take care of yourself. A lot of times I feel like we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. We get so busy and unfortunately, that's something that does tend to happen. So if you're listening out there, I do want you to take a moment and think, what are you doing to take care of yourself? And you can start small. One of my favorite things to talk about is how are you mindfully managing your stress? Stress can really take a toll on our bodies. And if we actually start to mindfully manage it and think about how we react to the stressors in our lives, that could be a great first step in taking care of yourself.
Absolutely. We talked about blood work, and I think it's important for us to just highlight a few things. Number 1, A1C, which is
Yes.
a 3-month average of your blood sugar. Do you know what your A1C is? 2, cholesterol and triglyceride levels. Those are kind of the 3 main that I look at, really seeing how is your body on the inside. A lot of times, you could look great, but on the inside, you're struggling a little bit. So you want to have that blood work. You want to analyze it and know where are you at so you can make steps to improve it. The next thing we want to talk about is nutrition in this self-assessment. So are you filling your body up with quality food?
Yes. I think it's so important to remember that, your food is your fuel. And you're going to get out what you put in. So at Healthy Steps Nutrition, we really have a whole foods focused. We try to minimize the junk, the processed foods, the foods that are highly loaded with trans fats and sugars. Nicole, you mentioned the A1C in the blood work. We have a lot of nutrition clients who come to us because they get blood work and they find out that A1C is almost on the brink of having prediabetes. And they realize after talking with their doctor that they need to make nutrition more of a priority. And I think that's so important because that has helped so many people prevent them from going into that type 2 diabetes category and really help them start a healthy lifestyle and be more mindful of what we're putting into our bodies and how that affects us.
Absolutely. So we need to do that self-assessment. We need to figure out where we're at. We need to look at what we are eating on a daily basis. How are we moving? And just starting small, starting somewhere. The next thing we want to do is educate ourselves.
This can be really hard and kind of frustrating. I've heard from a lot of people because there's so much misinformation out there. You Google what diet is the best for me and you get billions and billions of results, and it can be overwhelming. So I want you to think about who is there to help you. Who is there that you can help educate yourself with what you need to do to stay on the right track to make sure that you prevent chronic disease? And I'm going to go back to your healthcare team. Are you utilizing your primary care doctor, physician, or physician's assistant? Are you asking them questions when you get your blood work? Are you asking them, what can I do to be the healthiest version of myself and prevent having any chronic diseases? And I think it's really important to have a team of people there to help fight that fiction and find that fact, because it can be hard.
Absolutely. We want to understand hey, it's okay to ask for help. I don't have to have all the answers. I need some help.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
So going back to your healthcare team, reaching out, dietitians are there. If you have chronic disease, reach out to a dietitian, reach out to us. We are so happy to help you. The next thing, step 3, is to create a plan.
Yes. And not only create a plan, you need to create a plan and actually stick with it. And I think that's why it's so important to think about, is your plan realistic for you? Because it's great if you create this plan, you're going to eat healthy, I'm going to meal prep, I'm going to exercise 4 times a week, I'm going to do yoga and work on my stress. But if you can't do all of those things, it's all for naught. So I want you to make sure that your plan is realistic and something that you can stick with, because consistency is key. And just start with one thing.
We know that if you just start with one thing, you're 80% successful for maintaining that one thing over a year. But you start with 3 or more things, less than 5% success rate of maintaining those things over the course of a year. So we want to, you're right, just start with one thing, start small. Consistency is going to drive success, which is going to drive motivation. You want to be super, super consistent. Ashley, what are some things that people can do to help them if they're thinking I don't even know where to start?
I think my favorite tip, if someone's I want to start getting healthier, I want to start to take control of my health, prevent chronic disease through nutrition, my first tip for them is eat more veggies, eat more whole foods, more fruits and veggies. Fill that lunch and dinner plate half up with those non-starchy vegetables. That is my first tip for you.
I love that. The thing is we want to foster that positive relationship with food. And if you're constantly saying, oh, I can't have that, I can't have that, I can't have that, subconsciously you're going to want more of that. So if we are focusing on let's eat more of these healthy foods first, you're naturally going to eat less of the other foods. But again, it really starts off with a self-assessment. What are you doing right now? And what is an easy tip for you to take action and get closer to the healthiest version of yourself? If you have chronic disease right now, know that it's not too late. You can get on track. You can start making proactive decisions to help you take control of your health.
Yes. And if you do have a chronic disease, please know that you would need medical nutrition therapy and to work with a dietitian to utilize nutrition to help you manage and treat that condition. And if you're thinking, I have chronic disease and I do need another person on my side, on my team, I need to work with a registered dietitian, please reach out to us. Go to healthystepsnutrition.com or findanutritioncoach.com.
Awesome. Thanks, Ashley. This is such an important topic. Our mission at Healthy Steps Nutrition is to help people become the healthiest versions of themselves one step at a time. And it really starts and, really the goal is to prevent chronic disease. And we know the best way to prevent chronic disease is, to fight chronic disease is to prevent it.
Yeah, you got to prevent it and start now. Just one thing.
I hope you enjoyed that episode on fighting chronic disease. I personally am so passionate about helping people take control of their health through nutrition, exercise, sleep, support system, that healthy lifestyle using a holistic approach. We recently had someone apply for nutrition coaching and I jumped on a call with her and I asked her what her goals were and she said, I have over 100 pounds to lose. I'm 350 pounds. And I'm sick and tired of feeling the way I'm feeling right now. I've been this way for a long time and it's just time for me to make a change. My kids are getting older, their habits are not that great, and I need to be a better example. I want to be able to keep up with my kids and I need to get healthy for my kids. And she did the toughest part. She asked for help. And now she has a nutrition coach that's there to support her every step of the way, to help her create that healthy lifestyle and change her mindset so there's no more stress on food and really understanding food is fuel. So I hope that you are inspired right now, and whether you have a chronic disease and you're looking to fight it, or you're saying, I'm going down a path that I don't think is the best way for me to prevent chronic disease and I need to get help now, awesome. Take that preventative action. Get the support you need to help create a healthy lifestyle. If this episode spoke to you and you are ready to make a change, we want to help you. Click the link in the show notes and apply for nutrition coaching at Healthy Steps Nutrition HQ. Or you can find a nutrition coach near you at hireanutritioncoach.com. We cannot wait to help you become the healthiest version of yourself and transform your health and your life through nutrition coaching and creating that healthy lifestyle. Have an awesome week.